What's up, me Raandigars? We're back with another Persona video, Atlus video, at Persona video. I don't know, but I was sick recently, so I was not uploading videos. And during that time period, I saw this article by CBR. It said, "It's the end of an era for Atlus and Persona." So I was like, I read the first line and I saw this that 60, like the first announcement of 2013, and then the release, and I was like, and I read Persona 6. I was like, yeah, this is a video. I'll stop reading, and this is a video. So, CBR, they have questionable stuff sometimes, and like, I've been in the Dragon Ball community here and there, but I'm not generating a summary. We're reading this. So let's see, do I agree with them? Do I not? And so far, so good. You can share your thoughts in the comments below after this. So, Persona 5 was first announced in November 2013. I did not know that. I need to check that for confirmation. 6 years after Persona 4 was originally released on the PS2. Okay. Yeah, okay. I'm doing maths. After a few delays, the game finally arrived in September 2016 and became the biggest game in the JRPG series so far, selling more than 10.45 million. Since then, fans have been enjoying spin-offs and remakes while awaiting news of Persona 6. But that news has yet to come. We'll talk about this because I know this article will touch on remakes, and that's where I gotta touch them back. Sure. By the way, P5 and P5 Royal. I believe these 10.45 million sales is combination of both P5 and P5 Royal. I believe. A lot of people have told me that's the combination. I could be wrong. Okay. The most recent release in the Persona franchise is the Phantom X. Is it? It came out first in China, so we're gonna fact check this. I know Reload came out in 2024, February of 2024, early February, so I think it was either February 2 or February 4. Oh yeah, wait, no, this is the... Yeah, this is the... Oh, God, I gotta find this, actually. Alright, I'm here. As you can see here, look at mouse here, and we're going bottom here. Initial release date on the side. It says April 2014. 2024, April 12. Oh, yeah, it came out around that time. Yeah, I remember. This is the global release. We're not counting that, no. I've seen a lot of people say P5X is a new game, which it is, but like people act like it came out like a month ago or two, but no, it's like a last year game, right? So the most recent release is the Phantom X, a free-to-play gacha game. While the streamlined experience won't appeal to everyone, there's also a new remake. This is still... I know, like, here's the thing about Phantom X. It's a gacha game, and now that I've heard that after Chapter 3, it gets good, yada, 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 I'm like, okay, now it's like, how do I talk about this game? Because there's a possibility I only play the global version. So I talk about the global version, and maybe it's actually an issue that a lot of people had like last year, and it's already fixed in the Chinese version. So now it'll be fixed in the global version eventually. So now if I talk about eventually, whenever, like, unless they're synced, whenever I talk about Phantom X, it's... when the video is uploaded, it's already outdated because it's possible that the Chinese version already got to it. So, yes, let's go. While the streamlined experience won't appeal to everyone, obviously it's a gacha, there's also a new remake, P4 Revival, on the horizon. The franchise is clearly thriving, but Atlus has remained radio silent on P6. It's been 9 years since the last mainline Persona release, and it's clear the series is ready for a new era. Okay, I do agree with this, a new era, because Reload is really good. It's not a new era, as in it... Linked episodes are chef kiss. I picked them up, I'm like, alright, baby, love you. But, yeah, they could have done stuff. So, Persona is becoming a franchise of... Yeah, there we go. Now, of remakes and spin-offs. Okay. I am disagreeing. Okay, spin-offs, sure. That is the thing. But saying it's becoming is wrong. It already is. And it wasn't because of Persona 5. No. P4. Atlus saw P4 and they were like, how can we milk this more? And they just used that formula in P5. And calling it a franchise or remakes, I disagree, because in a sense it sounds negative. I'll talk about it. Let's read the article. But this is dancing, this is Tactica, this is dancing, this is arena, and then this is dancing. Oh, come on, you could have added more. Like, you could have added some, like, remove 5 dancing and add here strikers. They could have added more, but yeah, this is a good pick, by the way. Persona began as a spin-off of the Shin Megami Tensei series, so it's only natural that it would receive some spin-offs of its own. The first Persona spin-offs fighting game, Persona 4 Arena, launched in 2012. Is that the first spin-off game? Is that true? I mean, well, no, there were some mobile games, and I guess first mission, so they were like Japanese only games. And if you want to like count that promotional game, it's also a spin-off, the Chie Battles thing. Or Hot Springs thing. It's been followed by dancing games, dungeon crawlers, and strategy and action RPGs. So dancing game, I guess strikers and Tactica. Yeah, and like Arena is a fighting game. Atlus is clearly willing to bring its cast of characters into games of any genre. I mean, yeah, but these two, like, Tactica... Here's the thing. Tactica and Strikers are both similar to their mainline. Like, P5 Strikers is a bit similar to P5 in the sense the dungeons, sure, they're wide, but like, it's like Persona 5, but without the social simulator that much, and like, without the turn-based mechanic, and it's like very fast-paced. And then you have Tactica, which is different, but it's like the gameplay kind of draws in line with the mainline, kind of, but yeah. On top of that, every Persona game from 3 onwards has received remakes and revisions. There's only 2. And that is factually incorrect, because Persona 1 and 2 technically did receive remakes. So, yeah, and sometimes both. It's great that Atlus is ensuring its games are available to play on modern systems. I do understand what CBR is trying to do. It's not bringing in 1 and 2, because that is like a relic of all time, like, right? Like P1 and P2 remakes, that's like PSP era. So, yeah. So I shouldn't like really hit them with that. And sometimes both. It's great that Atlus is ensuring its games are available to play on modern systems, and every Persona spin-off game has been fun. But the strategy has left some fans feeling like these titles are coming at the expense of the mainline franchise. I kind of disagree with this. Back in the day, Atlus, as far as I know, did not have like proper operations set up, as far as I know. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Now, Atlus has, like, multiple teams, like, proper communication with one another internally, and, like, the only issue I think Atlus right now is that, like, their games are just getting leaked. Literally. Rido got leaked, Reload got leaked, Reload for Switch 2 got leaked, Revival got leaked. Their games, I believe Vengeance did, maybe, and like Metaphor kind of did with Atlus working on a new IP. So it's like, and P6 also has been leaked, that it's color and stuff, and that is true, like the code and everything, as far as we know. So the only issue Atlus, I feel like right now, is that they gotta stop leaks somehow, because sure, we as like fan base are like get more excited and some get less excited, but at the same time, for a company, it's like, why is your stuff constantly being like leaked? Are you doing it on purpose, or what's this, like, what's that about? So yeah, long gaps aren't anything unusual for the Persona franchise. There are only 2 years between Persona 3 and P4. That is a terrible comparison. That's why I say comparison. These two, okay, 3 was literally made as like the last ditch effort. We gotta do everything to make sure it's do or die. And they did it. 4 was like, damn, 3 is so good, we gotta make a new one. So let's reuse most of the stuff and like polish them, change them. And it's like, now we got P4. So that's the thing. It came out like a year later. But before that, there was 6 years between Persona 2 Eternal Punishment and Persona 3. See, yeah. The reason is simple. This was a shift. This is a big shift in quality, and like not in quality as in like graphics, yeah, PS1, PS2, that's what I mean quality, but also this was a big shift in gameplay. And Persona 4 and Persona 5 had an 8-year gap. that is also because there was a big shift, and especially this was a AAA title, and Atlus, I'm telling you right, like they went from P4 to P5, and now they're like understanding, okay, like what can we do? Because back in P4 they had a lot of limitations, so they couldn't test a lot of stuff. Now, like that limitation, like it's increased, like limitations are less. So now they're like, what can we do? Let's trial and error. Let's test stuff out. And then also in gameplay, they added a lot of stuff and a lot of flexibility. So this is also a big gap in, like, you can make the argument in quality. That said, unless Atlus surprises everyone and Shadow drops P6, they won't do that. It's likely there will be more than a decade between... No, that's wrong. Between P5 and 6. Okay. Development times are getting longer, but it's hard not to feel like Atlus is neglecting its main series. Oh my god, main series. Shin Megami Tensei fans. Okay. Yeah, this is where I want to talk about. Shin Megami Tensei... Yeah. Release date. Should I open these while I'm doing it right now? Metaphor Re Fantasio. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna pause and open these because this is boring. Alright, I'm back. So, Persona 5 Royal released in 2020. Now, we can make the argument that P5 released in 2016, but I'm picking up Royal because it's what people talk about the most. But let's just say 2016. So, since then, we've got Shin Megami Tensei in 2021. We got Vengeance, which added an extra story, and it was like a story. It wasn't like, oh, do this and get this new content. No, it was an actual new story. We got that in 2024. So we got... I'm talking about new games, not spin-offs or remakes. It's genuine new sequels or games all the way around. We got Souls Hackers 2 in 2022. This, I've started this. I'll play this, but I've seen a lot of people like say that this was a bit disappointing for them, but we got, you know, a new game. We got Unicorn in 2024. This is a new game. Sure, it's different, but it's a new game. Again, a new game. And then we got Metaphor Re Fantasio at the end of 2024. What's funny, have you guys noticed something? We got nothing in 2023 except for Tactica. Persona 5 Tactica. I feel like that's when, like, during that period, somewhat Atlus was maybe trying to add some change in their operations. It's possible. That's just my theory. So, alright. Are getting longer, but it's hard to feel. It's not neglecting its mainline series. I'm telling you right now. Okay. Let's just say this, and then let's just remove this, and let's just remove this. Let's just assume that Unicorn and Metaphor does not exist, and 2024 is Persona 6. There will be a lot of people happy, but then there will be people complaining that why is Shin Megami Tensei 5 like on Switch 1 behind like a game on a console that's like lacking in hardware. And then people will talk about why Soul Hackers 2 is very disappointing, and then Atlus only cares about Persona. That's the thing. They're focusing on other games as well, not just spin-offs and remake. People are people, and like this, sometimes this article is acting like this is like The Last of Us 2. Last of Us 2 came out in 2020. After that, we've been getting remasters and remakes. We're getting Intergalactic in what, 2025 or 2026? We're getting Intergalactic now. 5 years later. The new Naughty Dog game, it's a company. A lot of you might know them. So, the Persona series could be due for a change in direction. The first three Persona games were very different from 3, 4, and 5. Oh yeah, Eternal Punishment 3. I was like, wait, 3? The Persona series has only gotten up to number 5, but there are actually 6 mainline games in the franchise. Atlus followed by, I mean, technically 7 if you want to count Shin Megami Tensei, if it is like Persona game as far as I've heard. I will start a playthrough of that. It's a Persona game. We gotta complete those. And what's funny, I made a ranking, but that's technically a mainline Persona game too. So, Atlus followed the original Persona with a duology. Persona 2 Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment both released on the PS1. Only Eternal Punishment was released in the West. And Innocent Sin didn't make it to the West until... Oh, that's a thing? I guess so, yeah. In 2011. Ported to the PSP in 2011. Initially, the Persona series was very niche, and even the games that got wider release didn't get much attention. That changed when Atlus rebooted the series with P3, transforming it from a more standard JRPG to the social sim hybrid fans have come to love. The change in direction propelled Persona to new heights and made it one of the most popular JRPG franchises in the world. rivaling series like Final Fantasy. It did rivaling. Maybe it did. I guess I gotta go look at sales back then. Since then, Persona games have only become more successful as there's not necessarily a need for Atlus to do something new. Buddy, they did do something new, and it worked. It worked. I don't care what people say. I don't like Metaphor. It's successful, man. It is successful. Just saying that out there. That said, there are compelling reasons for the developers to stick with the trend of change things up after 3 mainline games and Persona 3 was released. It stood out because it felt completely different from every JRPG on the market. Now that the Persona series has a lot of imitators, yes, it may be time for a change of pace. There's also plenty of evidence to suggest that P6 would be open to something new. Last year, Atlus released Metaphor Re Fantasio, a fantasy JRPG from Katsura Hashino, the director of P3 and 4 and 5. The game was a massive success, selling 1 million copies on day one and earning multiple nominations. Yeah, the Game Awards. While it definitely shares DNA with Persona, it's ultimately a very different JRPG, and the sales number proved that audience aren't just looking for the same old high school JRPG. I think, okay, this is something people gotta remove the misconception a bit. Like, if Atlus releases Shin Megami Tensei or a new IP, people are not gonna say, oh, it's a high school sim, so I want to play the high school simulator. No, but when the Persona releases, people do tend to say that we need to play the social sim. It's one of those things, when you hear Persona and you love Persona, your neuron activation is like, we gotta play the social simulator. But like, when I was playing Shin Megami Tensei 5 and went to Nocturne, which I need to complete, I wasn't like, oh, I want to play the social simulator. No, I was like, I want to play a dungeon crawler, fun dungeon crawler with a lot of action. That's what Shin Megami Tensei comes to me. And like a lot of like satisfaction when I kill the person or beat the person who is, is a friend and then becomes evil, stuff like that. Though that was just with 5. And Nocturne felt that way, and I heard that Nocturne and 5 are kind of like similar. 5 takes that. And I haven't played Metaphor, but like I played the demo and I was like, yeah, I want to play this world. Like the whole kings and like different like races and like racism and everything. Like, I want to play this world. I don't go Metaphor, oh my god, I want to date this girl. No, I don't go that. But maybe in Persona I go, yeah, I want to date this girl. I want to create a harem. I want all the boys and girls in town to look at me and be like, yeah, this is that guy. Hashino moving on to Metaphor also means that Persona 6 will have a new director, though who it will be remains to be seen. Without a Persona 6 teaser or trailer, it's hard to say how much the franchise will change, but all signs are pointing to a change in direction. Maybe Persona will move on from its high school setting, or maybe, yeah, they could do that, but not the social simulation aspect itself. Maybe they could do that. Or maybe it'll introduce a new gameplay element that changes things up, like the social simulation mechanics did. They would do that. I mean, technically, Linked Episodes kind of did that, though it was just an addition to the social simulation, right? It could even let players choose the main character again. Either way, one era of Persona is coming to a close and a new era is about to begin. I really hope if we get a gender thing, it's not just, oh, you're a male, you're a female. Like, there's like some story changes and a lot of story beats and maybe some different social links and confidants or whatever they were going to call. But yeah, that's what I think. Are there comments? I would prefer more Shin Megami Tensei. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Doesn't mean he's down. Okay, yeah. That's true. If he was working in... Is the director is working in... where is he? Katsura Hashino? What's his name? Yeah, but the director, if he's working in Metaphor, that doesn't mean other use. That doesn't mean he's not working in Persona, but... Yeah, I mean... I can understand people hating. I feel like because the fans are more, and there's been a big gap, because there's a big gap between P5 and P6, right? Yeah, there's a big gap. What was the gap between? 8-year gap, so... Yeah, that's a big gap because they're talking about the base games. They're not even considering Golden here, right? Yeah. So it's a big gap between the games, so... Well, I think them doing remakes is not a bad thing because they're doing other games as well, like mainline and main games. They're not just sticking to remakes. Right now, how many remakes and remasters have we gotten? 4, right? P3 remake, P4. I mean, we technically did get ports, which... Okay, well, let's count that. We got 6. P3 Portable got like a remaster. P4 Golden also kind of get a remaster, but there was like a port remaster. They added some quality of life changes. P4 is getting a remake. P3 got a remake. Raido is a remaster, though they added a lot of stuff, so it's like remake, remaster, and then Nocturne got their remaster. So I guess yes. I mean, if you want to say Royal is also got a remaster with the PS5 version, I guess. But like, no. And like P5 to Royal, like these are definitive versions, so remastered. But all right, my Raandigars, tell me in the comments below, what do you think about this article? Do you think are you really frustrated that we're not getting P6? Or do you want P6? Or you look at this article and like they're like, they're based, they're like spitting facts, or you're like, no, they're kind of like being over dramatic, or maybe it's the middle point where you agree with them but not agree with them. Tell me in the comments below. Consider subscribing. I'm trying to make this YouTube thing an actual thing and trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. I'm looking here to stop recording. Yeah, they're looking here. Yep, I couldn't find the mouse. You know what? Bye.